In this third week, we wanted to give you a taste of construction of social categories in race, gender, and uh, and social class. And these are things that have been going on since the beginning of human time. We humans certainly started constructing social classes with the beginning of civilization. 5, 6, 7,000 years ago, and constructing classes of gender and is something that has been going on probably since the beginning of us being human beings, which is probably like somewhere in the range of 3 to 4 million years ago. So this is incredibly old stuff, and but it's not old issues, because we clearly have all kinds of issues going on with gender construction now, and with social class problems, the division of the society into the very rich and the very poor, and so on. So these are at the same time the oldest and most pertinent issues that one can hardly think of. So we're going to give you kind of a smorgasbord of things to think about. And the first one is an article by a woman named Cunha, and it's actually, if it weren't so tragic, it would be comedic, but that comes out of her being a professional writer, and so she knows how to present herself, and the story has a nice ending on it, so you don't have to worry too much about that. But what happens with this lady is that she's going along being a professional writer and organizer of media, and then she has twins unexpectedly, and then she has she and her husband have this encounter with the 2008 global economic meltdown. And the impact of this is that they can't afford formula for their babies that are born prematurely, and they get plunged into, they plunge from a middle class situation to a lower class situation, in which she has to drive her Mercedes to go pick up food formula, expensive formula for her babies in the food stamp program. And this all leads her to a very evident uh, view of what's going on with social class, and uh, how kind of unseemly it is that people should be treated this way. Then the in somewhat different uh, view, uh, the NPR and Vega pieces address gender categories, and in in this uh, the article, they point out that these categories are also the succeeding article. I guess we're getting all kind of in the same thing with gender stuff here, in that gender categories are kind of necessary. At least, I don't think that they're saying that they're humanly necessary, because some of the argument is that we need to alleviate the conditions that our current gender categories bring us to, but in fact they're kind of necessary for us to organize and simplify our social environment. But they're not saying that there's anything about these gender categories and the racial categories that can't be rearranged to make it more comfortable for the people living in those categories. And the final article by Solomon, now this is where the rubber hits the road in terms of understanding social science research, because this is a real social science research thing. And what they have done is take advantage of the fact that that Vermont has legalized same-sex unions in order to level the playing field in that regard. And so but since it's the first and only state in the country that's doing this, where there's people come from all over the country to get married in these, or to get to become parts of civil unions in Vermont. So and the fact that they have done this is a matter of public record, and so they're contactable. They're a sample of the whole country, and they ask these people to give them the names of their siblings that are in heterosexual marital relationships, and the names of other same-sex couples. And they interview all these people, and they get all kinds of really interesting information. This is the first probably real scientific look that we get into how heterosexual and same-sex couples differ from each other. They discover a lot of things. Probably the main thing, though, that they bring out is that the same-sex couples are much more egalitarian than the heterosexual couples whose division of labor is based more on traditional ideas, and so they say that perhaps the same-sex couples might be a model for how to rework the gender differences in heterosexual couples so that they're more egalitarian and fair.